If you're enjoying this journey into Brunei's hidden wonders, make sure to subscribe to our channel for more fascinating explorations. Returning to the capital, Bandar Seri Begawan is like stepping into another dimension. The quiet wilderness gives way to a city of pristine order and surprising opulence. White and gold domes rise against the blue sky, gleaming under the tropical sun. The Omar Ali Saifuddin Mosque, a vision of Mughal and Italian architecture, sits beside an artificial lagoon. A stone replica of a royal barge floats serenely on its waters. The city is clean, almost sterile. There is no litter on the wide boulevards. Traffic flows with a calm, unhurried rhythm. It feels less like a city and more like a carefully curated exhibit. The signs of wealth are everywhere, yet they are understated. There are no towering skyscrapers vying for attention. Instead, there's a sense of quiet prosperity. Fuel is astonishingly cheap, costing less than a bottle of water. This simple fact shapes the lives of everyone here. Cars are plentiful and the roads are smooth and well-maintained. The absence of income tax is another pillar of this unique society. Citizens receive free education and healthcare. The government's generosity, funded by immense oil and gas reserves, creates a cradle of security. It is a modern-day utopia, a gilded cage where the basic struggles of life seem to have been solved. Luxury is not flaunted, but it is deeply embedded in the fabric of the nation. The grand hotels are lavish, with marble floors and sprawling lobbies, yet they are rarely crowded. There is an air of exclusivity, as if the country is a private club. Tourists are few, and those who come often marvel at the serene, almost surreal atmosphere. They see the grand mosques, the magnificent palaces, and the tax-free shopping. They experience a place where everything appears to be in perfect harmony. It is a polished surface, reflecting an image of peace and contentment for the outside world to admire. This outward perfection is captivating. It draws you in, making you wonder if such a place can truly exist. Could a nation really be this peaceful, this prosperous, this orderly? The initial impression is one of awe. The contrast with the untamed jungle just a few miles away is stark. One is a world of raw, untamed nature. The other is a world of human design, meticulously planned and flawlessly executed. Both are beautiful in their own right, but as one spends more time here, a question begins to form. What lies beneath this shimmering surface? What is the price of this perfect peace? The longer one stays, the more one begins to notice the silences. The conversations in cafes are hushed. People speak in low, measured tones. There is a palpable sense of caution in the air. The pristine streets feel empty, even during the busiest parts of the day. Where are the bustling crowds, the noisy markets, the chaotic energy that defines so many other Southeast Asian capitals? Here, life unfolds behind closed doors, in the privacy of homes and the confines of family. The public spaces are for display, not for vibrant, spontaneous life. It is a beautiful but quiet stage. Suspense builds not from what you see, but from what you do not. There are no political rallies, no public debates, no visible signs of dissent. The newspapers report on royal events and government initiatives with unfailing positivity. Criticism is absent. It is as if the entire nation has agreed to a script of harmony. This uniformity is unsettling. It feels unnatural. You start to wonder about the thoughts and feelings that are left unsaid. What do people truly think about their lives, their government, their future? The answers are not readily available. They are hidden behind polite smiles and evasive pleasantries. The rules of this kingdom are strict and unyielding. The sale of alcohol is forbidden. During the fasting month of Ramadan, it is illegal for anyone, including non-Muslims, to eat or drink in public during daylight hours. These laws are not just suggestions, they are strictly enforced. This creates an environment of pervasive control. While tourists are often given some leeway, the invisible lines are always there. One learns to move carefully, to speak softly, to avoid drawing attention. The feeling is not one of immediate danger, but of a constant, low-level anxiety, a sense that you are always being watched. This quiet control is the hidden architecture of Brunei's society. It is the framework that supports the peaceful facade. The gold and marble are what tourists see. The cheap fuel and tax-free life are what they hear about. But the pervasive quiet, the unspoken rules, and the absence of open expression are what they begin to feel. It is a subtle but powerful force, shaping every interaction and every public space. The initial sense of wonder begins to mix with a feeling of mystery. The kingdom of gold starts to feel like a kingdom of secrets, its most profound truths kept just out of sight. To glimpse the reality of local life, one must leave the polished city center, venture into the residential suburbs, the kampongs, where the real Brunei lives and breathes. Here the grand architecture fades away, replaced by rows of modest houses. The streets are narrower and children's laughter can finally be heard. Yet even here a certain reserve remains. People are friendly but private. They will offer a wave and a gentle smile, but rarely an invitation into their world. The line between public and private is sharply drawn and carefully guarded. It is a community that looks inward. There are places that are simply not for outsiders. The inner workings of the government, the lives of the royal family, the discussions within the mosques. These are realms closed to a visitor's curious gaze. Information is tightly controlled. Attempting to ask direct questions about politics or the Sultan is met with discomfort and silence. It is not a subject for casual conversation. The reverence for the monarchy is absolute, and questioning it is unthinkable. This creates an invisible barrier, a wall of silence that no amount of friendly curiosity can penetrate. You are a guest, and a guest does not pry. Life for young people is particularly telling. On the surface, they are like youths anywhere. They are on their smartphones, they follow global fashion trends, and they gather in the few approved social spots like cafes and shopping malls. But their world is constricted. There are no nightclubs, no concert venues for international bands, no public spaces for youthful rebellion. Their energy is channeled into state-sanctioned activities, sports, religious events, and community service. Their choices are limited, their paths often predetermined. One senses a quiet yearning for a world of greater freedom, a world they can only see on their screens. This is the Brunei that tourists rarely see. It is a world of subtle restrictions and unspoken compromises. The social contract is clear. In exchange for material comfort and security, citizens accept a life of limited personal and political freedom. For many, it is a bargain they are willing to make, but for others, the gilded cage can feel confining. The truth of daily life is not a story of oppression, but one of complex trade-offs. It is a quiet, orderly existence, lived within carefully defined boundaries. The nation's serenity is not an accident. It is the product of a powerful and pervasive system of control. Deep within the city lies Kampong Ayer, the famous water village. It is often presented as a quaint tourist attraction, a living museum. Long wooden boardwalks connect thousands of houses built on stilts above the Brunei River. From a distance, it looks like a chaotic but charming relic of the past. But to walk its planks is to step into a complex, living community. Satellite dishes sprout from rooftops next to water tanks. The hum of air conditioners mixes with the sound of television sets. It is a place caught between tradition and modernity, a microcosm of the nation itself. The sensory details are rich and immersive. The boardwalks creak underfoot with every step. The river below slaps gently against the wooden stilts. The air smells of salt water, cooking spices, and the faint scent of diesel from the water taxis that zip back and forth like aquatic bees. Cats lounge in patches of sun, indifferent to passers-by. Children in school uniforms chase each other along the narrow walkways, their footsteps thundering on the planks. This is where the city's heart truly beats, away from the sterile perfection of the mainland. It is a place of life, of noise, of community. Yet, even here, the unspoken rules are present. Doors remain closed. Conversations stop when a stranger approaches. The warmth is polite, but distant. The community is tight-knit, bound by generations of shared history and family ties. Outsiders are observed with a quiet curiosity, but they are never truly part of it. You can walk through the village, take photographs, and marvel at its unique architecture. But you cannot access the story shared within these homes, the struggles faced by its residents, or the dreams they hold for their children. The village, like the nation, keeps its deepest secrets to itself. Listening closely, one can almost hear the echoes of a different Brunei. A time before oil, when life was simpler and harder, tied directly to the river and the sea. The older residents carry this history in their faces. They have seen their world transform from a quiet fishing village into the capital of a wealthy petro-state. They have witnessed the arrival of unimaginable wealth and the slow tightening of social control that came with it. Their silence is not empty. It is filled with memories. It is the silence of people who have seen too much change to speak of it lightly. Brunei presents a fascinating paradox. It is a nation that has achieved a remarkable level of peace and prosperity. Its citizens are cared for from cradle to grave. Its natural landscapes are breathtakingly beautiful and fiercely protected. The face it shows the world is one of serene, orderly calm. It is a tranquil kingdom, a haven of stability in a turbulent world. For the short-term visitor, this image is powerful and convincing. It is easy to be seduced by the quiet streets, the gleaming mosques, and the gentle pace of life. It feels like a paradise found, but serenity has two faces. One is the calm that comes from genuine contentment and security. The other is the quiet that comes from control and the absence of dissent. In Brunei, these two faces are fused into one. The nation's peace is both a gift and a restraint. The immense wealth from oil has provided a comfortable life for its people, but it has also funded a system that limits their freedom of expression. The social contract is always present, a silent agreement that underpins the entire society. Accept the rules, and you will be rewarded with a life free from many of the world's worries. To truly understand Brunei is to hold these two contradictory truths in your mind at once. It is to appreciate the stunning beauty of its jungles and the quiet dignity of its people, while also recognizing the invisible structures that shape their lives. The country is not a simple utopia, nor is it a repressive state. It is something far more complex, a gilded sanctuary with unspoken rules, a place where the surface tells only half the story. The real Brunei is found in the space between what is shown and what is hidden, in the whispers that travel down the slow-moving river. Our journey ends where it began, on the water, looking back at the shoreline. The call to prayer echoes from the grand mosques, a sound of profound devotion that drifts across the river and into the darkening jungle. The lights of the city begin to twinkle, their reflections dancing on the water's surface. It is a beautiful, mesmerizing sight. But now, we see it with different eyes. We see the gold, but we also sense the silence behind it. Brunei remains a mystery, a kingdom of quiet contradictions, its deepest soul veiled from the world, as elusive and beautiful as the morning mist.